They are proud real estate partners of the Vegas Golden Knights and the Vegas Nighthawks. And if you're in the market for a new home, the Knight Real Estate Group is here to serve you.
That's right, and joining us now is Realtor Dennis Jeantet. He's here to give us some helpful real estate tips. Hi, Dennis. How are you?
Hi, I'm doing great. Thanks for having me, guys.
Wonderful, of course. So can you tell us what is the most important thing someone should know when it comes to selling their home?
Of course. When it comes to selling your home, obviously the first thing is you have to find a good agent. You're going to want to look for someone who's experienced, someone who's a good communicator, a good negotiator, someone with a good track record, becomes highly regarded, recommended, good reviews, that's done a lot of deals, that knows what to expect, that knows how to help, their clients, whether they're buying or selling. And that's what we pride ourselves on. We build a good relationship with our clients before we even pull out the paperwork. We like to build their trust. We like to learn their story, learn their goals. So, that's what it's all about.
Trusting your agent is essential because they are representing you.
Of course.
For sure. When it comes to buyers, I know that we were chatting about the market a little bit before this interview. Mm-hmm. I think when you see an opportunity, and you want to make an offer, you want to move on it, but you want to really make sure you're being strategic and putting the thought into it. What kind of advice do you give to buyers?
Of course. So before you put in an offer, you have to take into consideration, does the home have everything you need and want? Does it have the space you need? Does it have too much space? We find people after being interviewed after purchasing a home, they say their biggest concern is it's either too much space or too little space. So you really want to make sure it has the space you need. It's in your desired location. You're okay with the payment. You're going to want to do your homework on it, comparable sales, all these things before you put in an offer.
Mm-hmm. Wow, yeah. And so, we were talking about buying and selling. Mm-hmm. So when it comes to even selling, what are some of the ways or things people should have in mind when they're looking to sell their home and they should be preparing for?
Of course. Well, you want to make sure your home has good curb appeal, and now most people find their homes online, so you want to make sure it has good web appeal. It's got to look great in the pictures, got to look clean. We like people to declutter, or we say depersonalize, because people don't like to think of their things as cluttered. So we say depersonalize the home. If it doesn't need to be out, put it away. You want it to look good for pictures. Obviously, you want to make a good first impression because that's going to help you get a solid offer on your home.
That's right. Yeah. It's actually profound what you're talking about right now, because you're selling the possibility of the home.
Yes.
In addition to what is already how it's already being used, for sure.
Exactly. You want them to envision it as their new space, so,
Yeah, exactly. An aspirational new space,
yeah,
for sure.
Yeah.
Home inspections, we know how critical this is.
Oh, yes.
I mean, first of all, you have to have an excellent inspector.
Of
but
course.
What else? What other advice do you recommend during this stage?
Of course. Well, you don't just want to have your Uncle Larry poking up in the attic, with a flashlight. You really want to have a qualified inspector. They're going to go through the whole home, top to bottom. They're going to find things that aren't visible to the naked eye, that me and you aren't going to see. They have thermal imaging cameras that see through walls to find, moisture, water leaks, stuff like that we're not going to be able to see. So it's really imperative to get a home inspection. You got to know what you're getting into. And then also you can use this information to help renegotiate repairs or renegotiate the purchase price, or see if you even want to move forward, with that property. So.
Wow.
And check the roof.
Check the roof. Yeah, now they have drones. So, they used to go up there with a ladder. Now they just put a drone up there and takes a bunch of pictures.
Yeah.
So,
wow.
Yeah.
Super important.
It is.
And so, Dennis, you guys are you're a partner, an official partner, right, of the Vegas Golden Knights. So tell us about that partnership.
Oh, yeah. We love being partners with the Knights. We get to go out to the home games. We love chatting with the fans before the games, handing out merch, spreading the word about Knight Real Estate. We do 1% listings, so a lot of people see our billboards around town, and have questions about that. So, it's good just mixing it up with the Knights fans, cheering at the games. We love it.
Being a part of the heartbeat of the community,
Of
right?
course, yeah, we love the Knights. We're so happy that we got a real professional hockey team here. We're excited for the Raiders and other teams, the Aces, the Nighthawks. We're also partners with the Vegas Nighthawks as well.
Great.
Which is
Very
indoor
cool.
football. So.
Well, are you ready for playoffs?
I'm ready. Yeah, I'm ready to go to some games.
Yep. Lastly, before we go, in terms of the high-end luxury real estate market here in Las Vegas, you have a lot of knowledge. But how is the market in that area currently? Because I think it's been pretty hot recently.
Yeah, of course. I just want to touch a little bit on the luxury market. The big change with this is they're going to require proof of funds in order to go out and see the home. So they're not just going to take your word for it, you know, that you have the
Got
money,
it.
because these are very nice homes, you know, so they want to make sure they do have a legitimate buyer, you know, coming in there. So they're
Sure.
going to ask
Yeah.
for proof of funds. The sales cycle is a little bit longer on these. Obviously, the research, you know, is a little bit different, a little bit longer. Also, there is a little bit more competition on these luxury properties because there isn't as many available. So, yeah, but it's you know, there's so many great properties here. You know, luxury market, regular market, whatever you're looking for, we're happy to help everyone. That's what we say. We do $10,000 deals, we do $1 million deals. We're just happy to help everyone.
Excellent. Well, we were happy to have you on the show.
Oh
Thank you
yeah, I'm
much
so
for joining
excited.
us.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
For more information, you can visit knightrealty.com.
That's right. You can also check out Dennis on Instagram at DJ Sells Vegas.